Today I want to talk about Sledgehammer Games undermining and underestimating zombies inside Call of Duty. And most people inside the Call of Duty community, they'd be more than aware that zombies is no longer just this third bonus mode inside Call of Duty like squads or something like that we used to have inside the game. And this is just so big and so popular, and I would even argue that some years it's even more popular than multiplayer. But for some reason, Sledgehammer Games just seems to not understand that, and they just continue to treat it as a third bonus mode, when it really hasn't been just a third bonus mode since 2008, which I just don't understand. But of course, I should make this clear right away. When I'm talking about Sledgehammer Games and them underestimating and undermining the zombies mode inside Call of Duty, I'm not talking about the zombies team themselves. I think Cameron Dayton and his team are working as hard as they can to make the zombies experience as best as they can. But what I'm talking about the people at the top of Sledgehammer Games and decide what gets worked on and what effort gets put into where and all that stuff. Like people like Michael Condra used to be, and now the Aaron guy, I forgot his last name, but you know, the new head, and all these people, and how they really feel, it really feels like they're underestimating it, and it's no longer just a hunch anymore. It hasn't been a hunch for a while, because if you guys remember back, I think it was around the time the Shadowed Throne released, the Zombros actually had Cameron Dayton on, and they actually interviewed him, and something he said was actually really disappointing to me. But he went and said that the Zombies team is the smallest team out of all the teams inside Sledgehammer Games. And that's just so disappointing to hear. And it's just, hearing that is just like, it's just so disappointing, because I mean, the people probably working on it are very passionate about it, but the people actually running the show actually don't put enough resources in that place to make zombies as great as it can be. And this is something that we were all thinking may have been the case for a while. Well, at least I was, especially when we actually saw, I think the first time I started questioning it was actually back at the Winter Siege event, but then after that, it was probably the Darkest Shore. But especially with the event, though, let's stick to the events, because this is by far the most obvious ones to me, because you look at all the events they've had, the Winter Siege and the St. Patrick's Day event, and even this more recent one, Attack of the Undead. No matter what anybody says about them, the only one that ever really influenced zombies in any way, shape, or form was the St. Patrick's Day event, or was it called the Leprechaun event? I'm not exactly sure. They were just a couple extra effects added to Easter eggs that existed inside the game, and that was the most we ever got, and I found that to be very underwhelming, and in fact, I didn't even do them because I found them that underwhelming. But then you look at all the other events, like I said, the Winter Siege, the French event, or the one for DLC 1, I think it was, that event, that one also was very underwhelming for zombies. Well, it didn't affect zombies in the slightest. And then this newest one, Attack of the Undead, and this is something that I just cannot stand out of all of them, because it really seems like it's going to be a zombies event. It's called Attack of the Undead. It's actually a zombies event, but the thing is that everything they did inside this event affects only multiplayer. Not one thing is going to convince me out of all this event is actually going to convince me to go play zombies. What in this event is going to get you to play zombies? There's nothing. There's more than a ton. There's like way more things inside this event that are actually going to get me to play multiplayer, and they have done a really good job at getting me to play multiplayer. But where the heck is the reason to play zombies, though? I mean, there's actually not a reason to play zombies in this event. I mean, you could see zombies inside multiplayer. That's really cool, and the event is really cool for multiplayer, but it just isn't for zombies. There's just no reason for me to go over and play zombies, and this is my point, that they are undermining zombies and not giving it I guess, just everything it needs to succeed, because if you are going to be doing these events, you're not only just going to get people to go back and play multiplayer that stop playing, but you're going to get the zombies player, so like me, who normally want to play zombies, but of course also play multiplayer, but you're going to convince me to go play multiplayer. In fact, I have like 3 times more time played in multiplayer than I do in zombies in this game, which is just crazy, because, well, I guess most games for me, it's mainly multiplayer, but the thing is just that, it's just like, normally I play a ton of zombies, but every single time where there's one of these events, not only does it just not motivate me to play zombies, but it also takes me away from zombies entirely, and I just don't understand why they would do that. I don't get why they do not give zombies everything they need to succeed. It just seems so ridiculous to me, especially when you see what the other two studios are doing, especially Treyarch. And in fact, I would argue that Treyarch actually does more for zombies than they do for multiplayer. But I mean, that's just from my perspective. And I would actually argue that, in fact, IW or Infinity Wards, they are the most balanced out of all of them. I think they treat zombies and multiplayer on the same level as they do I guess, campaign also. But the thing is, I just think that it's ridiculous that Sledgehammer Games, again, I can't search this enough. I'm not talking about the zombies team, but I'm talking about the people at the top of Sledgehammer Games who make all these big decisions. I think they are undermining and underestimating zombies this year, and it's just very, very disappointing to see that zombies is just not getting everything it needs to succeed. And I just don't like that at all, because I haven't even touched World War II zombies in over a month now, and I just find that so disappointing, because it's just like there's nothing to do. And of course, I've already talked about why the maps themselves aren't enough to keep me playing, because they're not solo friendly for the most obvious one. Not to mention, the reason why they're all not solo friendly is because of how small their team is, but whatever. But of course, doing this doesn't help either when you don't give them even another reason through these events play. It's just like, I don't even know, guys. I just don't like how Sledgehammer Games has treated zombies this year, and it's just so ridiculous. Especially this event is called Attack of the Undead, but everything is in multiplayer. There's nothing inside zombies, and people will argue that it is a zombies event because there's zombies, but no, because there are entirely different modes. And what happens if you click on the zombies tab inside World War II? Is there an event happening there? No, there's not. There's actually not an event happening there. If you click on the multiplayer one, there is an event happening there. And I just find that so ridiculous that this Sledgehammer Games continues and continues and continues to not, like, just try to just do something with zombies, and it's just so ridiculous. And I don't think that the people in the zombies teams are really motivated by this at all, when they see that they're, I guess, the top of their studio is mainly focusing on their multiplayer mode and not giving them everything they need for their zombies mode. I just find it, especially, well, at least if I was working there, I find it really disheartening, and of course, that would affect the product I'm making now, so I just don't like it. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. Again, I want to repeat this for the third time, but I'm not talking about the zombies team. I do think that they are trying their absolute best to make the game best as possible, but it's just the people at the top that are making all the decisions to put all their resources in other places and leaving zombies out. And that's what the main focus of this video is, just the people at the top of Sledgehammer Games just not giving zombies the focus it needs, and keep treating it like, oh my gosh, like a flippin' bonus mode. It's no longer a bonus mode. It hasn't been a bonus mode since 2008 in World at War. In Black Ops 1, it was like so big. I mean, you remember DLC 4, there were no multiplayer maps in that at all. It was pure zombies, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm just talking too much here at the end, but tell me what you guys think about this. Do you guys agree with me? Disagree? Do you guys think that Sledgehammer Games is actually giving too much, I guess, resources to just multiplayer and not giving anything to zombies or anything like that? Just tell me what you guys think down in the comments. But if you guys did enjoy the video and you agree with me, go ahead, do all the normal YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, bell, share, and especially share. Or bell, I meant to say there. Actually, especially bell. But I'm gonna go, and we'll catch you guys on my next video.